Good evening, my friends. We'll be switching over to a live camera shortly. Good evening, everybody. James here over on the Jackery channel. That's right, guys. We got another beautiful stream for you tonight. Of course, I'm in business. My hat is backwards. But we do have Justin in chat, guys, to join us. I'm going to actually have him send out a media blast for me because I actually forgot to set it up. But I'll have him send that out for me right now. Now, guys, we're going to have a nice little show for you, a bunch of very cool products, but I will tell you guys, we'll be back here tomorrow night also to do another stream, so don't forget to show up for that one as well. Now, I want to thank everybody for coming here. We're going to start this off with a bunch of very cool products. Guys, these products are going to help you out in times of need, and of course, they helped me out a couple times this week. One was for a power outage. The second one was for, well, lighting up camera gear. You guys may or may not see, but I do have a new Keystone light set up right here to kind of get some of the shadowing effects off of these products. Now, the one thing that's going to kind of cool and kind of amazing is all of these products will come with either a carrying kit or some cabling with that. Now, the cool part is a lot of them do come with this carrying pouch, and of course has their beautiful logo right there for you. Inside here is going to be a couple of things. First and foremost, you're going to have one style of charging cable. Now, it may be this style, or it may range from like an old school laptop looking style power brick or vice versa. Now, you also get either a set of cables like a cigarette lighter charging cable to charge it as well. It'll be either orange or black. You'll also either get an adapter, depending on if you guys get the larger kits. You may get, of course, the single to dual DC adapter, and that's going to be for your solar panels. The same as, of course, some of these may come with, of course, adapter plugs to shrink down the size with that. Now, the first product we're going to start off tonight is actually the Jackery Explorer 100 Plus. And the Jackery Explorer 100 Plus in the kit comes with these cables. Now, this, of course, is a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. It has 100 watts power pass-through capacity. Now, it also comes with this an adapter right here. Now, this adapter is specifically designed for your power supplies or solar panels. Now, it's going to allow you to plug into the USB-C port and plug into the DC plug from the solar panel to charge that device. Now, we're going to talk about, of course, a palm-sized device that packs quite a punch. Lucky, how are you doing? Good evening. What's up? And David, thank you for the follow. Now, this is the palm-sized device that we're talking about. 31,000 milliamps of power, 99 watt-hours of power. Now, this little thing, of course, is literally palm-sized. This is less than 2 pounds. Well, it's about 2 pounds-ish. It's not that heavy. This is actually very accessible. It can be carried around in your backpack or anything of the sort. Literally, you could probably take this on a plane if you guys are traveling, or even to the tent site, or your backyard, or even on a car trip. Now, this is going to work in a multitude of ways. First and foremost, you have that USB-A port. It's going to allow 18 watts of charging capability through that. Then you have two USB-C ports that allow for 100 watts max charging capability in and out ports. Now, you do have, of course, that display. If I hit that button over there, you're going to see that display light up and show about 69%. I was actually just using this today for some video purposes, and that's why we're down to 69% charged, but we're there. We'll keep using it until it needs fully charged, and then we'll do that again. This, of course, is a LiFePO4 battery. Now, that LiFePO4 cells, they've actually thought about it, and they actually individually wrapped from that. Watching from the Philippines. Well, hello. How are you doing? And thanks for watching. Now, the cool part is, guys, this does have drop protection. These work very, very well. You'll be able to charge this in under an hour and a half with this, of course, or less, depending on what you're using. Now, I'm going to tell you, charging capability is super fast, super quick. If you're using a solar panel, it's going to take a little bit longer for that, but you can do that depending on what solar panel you're using. Devices that you can run off of this range from, multiple pieces. Your MacBook Airs, your MacBook Pros, even your iPads and other devices, or even your iPhones. You could even connect up, like, say, a Nintendo Switch to this. Yes, that's right. You can plug in a Nintendo Switch on this and run it for over 4 hours. I've actually done that and tested it out. I've had a Nintendo Switch and a portable monitor all connected into this device and used it for that. Cool part about this is there's a $50 clippable coupon for this little powerhouse. This is a really cool piece, and I love the coloration and the size of this. This comes in handy quite a bit for me lately. It's just one of those things. Of course, you plug that cable in or you use your own cable. That's up to you. Just make sure that cable can access the power that you need to draw through that. If you guys need a nice little portable one that's got a $50 clippable coupon, the 100 Plus might be a great option for you. Let's see what I missed. So you'll go right onto Amazon. You'll click the product page. Or if I actually, let's see if I can do this right now. Click that link. You'll see the product is actually in the carousel. You'll click the carousel, and under on that product page, there's a coupon that you'll actually clip, and it'll give you that $50 off. So it's right there on the product page, clippable. You're good to go. Joanna, good evening. How are you doing? What's up with Joanna? So, yeah, it's that easy. It becomes about $99. That's actually a really, really good price for that thing. That little product is a powerhouse that's saved me quite a bit lately. I've been enjoying using that one. Now, we're going to move over to a little bit bigger of a power station, and this is going to be like the 240. Now, the 240 is kind of amazingly well done. It's actually 9% off, I believe, tonight, so you're going to save a few bucks with this. This is about $219 in a palm of your hand. Yes, this is still what I consider an entry-level palm of your hand system. This weighs less than 7 pounds. This is accessible, has a fixed handle. It has their beautiful Jackery logo right there, and actually has those plugs on the side. Now, this, of course, is a 200 watts of pure sine wave power at 110 volts AC plug. Now, each plug's on here is individually switched. Like if I hit that button, it'll turn that switch on, turn it off, and it's good to go. You have two USB-A ports right there, and I'll bring that closer so you guys can see that. Those are 5 volt, 2.4 amps. Then you have that DC input, but you also have that cigarette lighter output up top as well. Now, it does have a display. This display does light up, but it's, it's just a little bit lighter of a contrast. So you do see the battery, but you also see the input and output wattage, and it'll also tell you guys how much runtime is left on the 240. Now, the 240 is actually 240 watt hours of power for this. Can work, of course, with the solar panels or be plugged in on the wall. Charging this is going to take a little bit longer than that little one because it's a little bit more power, but it will work very, very well for you. Wall plug, 3.5 hours, you're good to go. Your car outlet, it's going to be about 5 hours with the cigarette lighter plugged in, guys, but it's like a short trip to the coast for most people, except for me. So the coast is like 20 minutes for me, so I can't say that for myself, but hey. Charge it up, get and go into the campsite or whatever you want. It's got the nice silicone pads. Now, this has actually got Class 9 drop protection. It's got temperature sensors and intelligent BMS system. Now, the intelligent BMS system or your battery management system is going to protect this with all ease. Now, you do have that cooling technology, of course, inside this, and it is very silent to use. And that's the best part. It's silent. You don't hear it running, but you have it. The most you're going to hear is when you click that switch, and that's it. Now, with this, of course, you're going to be able to run a few things. CPAP machines, little light bulbs, maybe like this light I have running over here, this Keystone light, or other devices, or even your Nintendo Switch again, guys. But the Nintendo Switch on this one's going to be able to run for about 40 hours of runtime. Now, if you guys use a lot of camera gear and you're recording or recharging your batteries quite a bit like these, you should be able to get about 15 battery charges or so, depending on the size of those batteries. Now, I'm going to tell you right here, this little battery is a 1240 milliamp battery, so you'll do that math, of course, with that. So 240 watt hours, you should be able to get about, I think, with this battery, 16 charges, I think, approximately. So that's a good deal with that. Now, of course, class drop protection, you don't have to worry about it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I actually dropped this over their drop protection limit that they say that it can handle. I dropped this approximately 9 feet, and it still worked, no problem. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and chuck it in the air and drop it, but it can actually be dropped and still work with no problem. There's no loose pieces inside. So I am not worried about this having an issue. So that's a really cool piece. And I was shocked when it fell. I will tell you that now. Now, this is actually quite decent size. It's literally less than 10 inches wide, which is actually nice. It's approximately 7 inches tall or so with this. It's, I think, 5 inches deep, so it's not that large. This is a nice, accessible, and sized piece for you that's going to work for quick emergencies, weekend camping trips, or other pieces. So that's actually really cool with this. And actually a great deal. These are really, really amazing. Any questions about that one, please definitely ask. Let's see here. I believe we're going to be moving over to, I think, the 300, which is the little big brother for that one. Now, the 300, of course, is 293 watt hours of power, still in, of course, this palm-sized device that can be carried around. Now, this one does weigh 7 pounds. So it's got a little bit more weight to it, and that's because it's got a little bit more battery. Now with it, on this one you get 2 AC outlets. These are going to allow you to plug in multiple pieces. It's going to allow you to do 300 watts of pure sine wave power, and yes, you can peak over that 300 watts. I do recommend staying at that 300 watts with that though. And that's just the way I'm going to say about that. Now, I am going to tell you, let's see if I can do this properly today. 293 watt hours of power, guys, with this one, of course. Very well done. The multiple plugs. Now, you do have a USB-C port. This is going to do 60 watts of charging capability in and out. So it is an in and out port. You then have 2 USB-A ports. One of those is a 5-volt, 2.4 amp. The other, of course, is a little bit higher, but not much higher than that. You also have that DC plug, and you still have that cigarette lighter plug over here, but it's got a cap and a cover. Now, it still has, of course, that nice little screen, and, of course, every piece is switched, so you can turn them on and off. Charging rate times are going to be a little bit more with this. 3.5 hours on a wall plug, 3.5 hours in the car. If you have, of course, the, let's say, double plug style, if you're charging it through the USB-C and the wall plug, 2 hours. That's faster than the other one to get that charged. This one has actually got another $50 clippable coupon as well with this. Now, with this one, though, you're going to be able to run, of course, that Nintendo Switch for over 40 hours. I'm going to say about 45 hours of runtime with the Nintendo Switch. Now, if you wanted to run your Nintendo Switch, your 5-watt light bulb, and let's say your portable monitor off of this, you could do that because you have the ports to do it, and it will run that for a good amount of time. Just remember, when you add more products to it, it's going to deduct from the runtime with that. And that's not a bad deal. You'll still be able to charge your camera gears and everything else of that. I know Justin actually has one of these he runs with his camera gear, so it does do well for that. This is just a great accessible piece that's actually quite portable and very, very user-friendly. All these are pretty much really, really user-friendly and accessible for you. Yeah, that's what I'm using tonight. I actually have multiple Keystone lights. If you guys can't see my hand glowing over here, I am running multiple Keystone lights tonight. I did not realize this one is actually in camera view, but it is. That's just the way it's going to work. So definitely can do that. Great little pieces. I love these, and they're really portable. Like, anybody can carry those. That's not a problem. Even your child can carry that around. It's so light. It's not a big deal with that. Now, if you want something that's got a little bit more power, that's going to handle more of a runtime with that, we can talk about the 500. Now, the 500, of course, is actually right behind me. The 500's actually got a $150 clippable coupon, though. So if you guys want to save a few bucks and have a bigger power station, this might be the one for you. Now, the 500, still hand accessible. Now, this one does weigh a little bit more, though. This is like 13 pounds altogether with this one. Now, 518 watt hours of power, 1 AC outlet right here. Now, that AC outlet's going to do 500 watts of pure sine wave power. So you should be able to run, let's say, your flat screen TV back there with no problem. You should be able to run other pieces without an issue. It will do that. Now, of course, you have 3 USB-A ports right there. Those USB-A ports, though, are only 5-volt, 2.4 amps. You then have, of course, multitude of, DC plugs. Now, those, are, of course, are your outputs. And then you have your input up there as well. You do have that display, so if you hit that button, it'll show you guys about 73% battery. Now, this one, though, you actually have a flashlight built into the side. So you do have a flashlight. It will do standard flashlight or, of course, SOS pattern for you if you need that. Now, with this, it is 13 pounds, but still, of course, I can handle this and carry this around without a problem. Charge time, though, on this one's going to be, about 5.5 hours on a wall plug. The same with the cigarette car lighter, about 5.5 hours. If you have a Solar Saga 100 solar panel, about 7.5 hours. Now, the cool thing is if you have that solar panel plugged in, yes, you can charge this and use the plugs at the same time, no problem. Running this, you're going to be able to run your flat screen TV. That's going to be like your 45-watt flat screen TV, right? For about 7 hours or so. Your laptops, and that's going to range again, your lower power laptops like your notebooks and stuff for about 30 hours-ish. Now, I'm going to say ish there for that. Now, we can definitely run your little mini cooler, and that's going to be like your camp cooler, right? That's going to be like a 15-watt camp cooler. That's going to be able to run for about 9 hours or so. Even a heating blanket, a CPAP machine can all be ran off of this or other devices. This one is already 6% off, so it's like $4.99. Normally it's $5.29, but there's a $150 clippable coupon on this on the product page for this one, and that's actually a great deal. Still has, of course, those beautiful silicone pads and everything else with that. Now, we can actually bounce back here. Let's show you guys this right here. See if I can get that to go right there. Right there on hand, guys, you have, of course, the table of products. I might get the camera one out, but I'm going to actually set this one back in the middle for everybody on hand. So we've got a bunch more products where we get going, and we're going to show through with this, of course, as we go. Now, we're going to move over, of course, to a product that you may not see just yet. So let's go up and let's show you guys that right here. And that's going to be that bad boy up top. That's going to be the Jackery Explorer 1000. Now, the Jackery Explorer 1000 is, of course, a very cool little product that is sitting way, way up top. Now, I'm going to hope my mic doesn't start going wonky on us, but we're going to come up here. Right here, guys, you have 3 AC outlets, and it's going to do 1,000 watts of pure sine wave power. You get 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, and, of course, that cigarette lighter plug. Now, where this range is a little different, it's got 2 AC inputs. Or DC inputs. Now, one, of course, is going to be your standard round D plug, or you have your alligator style clip. Now, yes, just like the 500, this has that flashlight on the side, but it also has, of course, the cooling technology in a wider pattern. Now, with this, of course, it still has that fixed handle and can be, of course, moved around and used. This does weigh a little bit more, though, so do know this has some weight on there. So if you guys want to carry that around, it's going to be a little bit more. Now, with this 1,002 watt hours of power with that station, it's going to take about 5 hours to fully charge it in a wall plug. If you're doing, let's say, a cross-country trip, maybe you're going from Seattle down to the Redwoods, about 11 hours of 11 hours of charge time. So you're going to be in that car most of the day anyways. Let it charge in the car. You should be good. Let it charge in your RV. No problem. Let it charge in your toy hauler. You can do that. It'll allow it. Or connect up a solar panel, of course, and charge it with that as ease. With this one, though, because you do have the 1,002 watt hours of power, you're going to be able to run other products off of this with no problem. And now those products are, of course, going to range from, let's say, your heating blanket. If you want to heat up a heating blanket off of this, you can actually run that for about 11 hours. So that means if you guys have a power outage and you guys are really, really cold and it's winter, plug in that heating blanket, 11 hours of runtime on that, you're going to be fine. That white light bulb that's built into the side, that's right, that 3-watt LED light bulb, 65 hours of runtime off of this power station. That 15-watt mini cooler, about 13 hours, or if you guys really want to run that flat screen TV, I believe the flat screen TV was around 8 or 9 hours of runtime. And that's for like the 45-watt flat screens. That's going to be all the way up to, I believe, approximately your 55-inch flat screens. So with that, you have the great runtime. And now you could technically run a coffee maker off of this or electric grills or other devices. But I will tell you, This one weighs 22 pounds. So the 1000 does weigh a little bit for you. Now this is like 36% off tonight, so it's like $639. So normally it's almost $1,000 for the 1000. That's a great one. That's going to actually be a good one right there. And that will, of course, definitely run a CPAP machine all night if you guys need one of those to help sleep with that. Any questions about the 1000, please ask. Definitely here to answer. Anyways, how you doing, buddy? What's up, my friend? Good evening, everybody else. Yeah, Michael, no problem. Glad we could answer that for you. Joanna, definitely not free money, but yeah, definitely saves you some money. I agree with that one. I believe we're going to be going into the bigger power stations now. We're going to start off with the 1500. So if we actually move downwards on this table, you're going to see a couple bigger power stations right here. Now, we're actually going to talk about the one on this side right here for us. So if I bring that camera over, we can do that. Let's bring that camera over and let's zoom you on in right there. Oh, look, my face is cutting off. Oh, Reno. This is the 1500. Now, the 1500 is a little bit different than the other devices in the fact of that little hand solar panel. You'll see why. It's got a handle that does fold up. And, of course, it is, square, more square body style. Now, with this one, though, they changed up the display. So if I hit that display, you're going to see a nice high contrast screen with this. That's right. You're going to have that nice black background with that bright orange contrast. Now, that circle, of course, does tell you guys it has that charge range of 77%. Now, with this, you're also going to see the output voltage and your input voltage. When you have a device plugged in it or hit the switch, it's going to tell you how many hours it's running, and it's going to tell you guys the voltage and, of course, the hertz that it's running at. Now, right there, it does say 120 volts at 60 hertz of power range. Of course, you can switch it off, and you're good to go. Now, with this one, they still have a flashlight, but they actually cover it with a cork. The flashlight you can turn on. Of course, you can go even brighter, or you can go into SOS pattern, and I won't stay the SOS pattern on too long in case you guys don't like that. Now, with it, of course, this weighs a little bit. It's about 37.5 pounds, so it has a little bit of weight for you with that. Now, with it, you have the USB ports right here, the USB-A ports. Those are 18 watts max charging capability. That means right there, you guys, you're going to be able to charge your phones or other devices at no issues with that 18 watts. Now, if you need a higher charge rate, go with the USB-C port and get that 100 watts max of charging capability. Chucky, what's up, my friend? Now, with the 1000, though, or the 1500 Pro, we're going to talk about the 1500 Pro a little bit. 1,512 watt hours of power. Of course, that's a good amount of power. LiFePO 4 cells. $700 clippable coupon on this power station. So you do have that as well. Now with this one though, you have of course dual voltage monitoring system. It's got included 8 temperature sensors for the battery systems to make sure it's not overheating and charging. It's got what's called the intelligent BMS, which is your intelligent battery management system. That intelligent management system is what's going to show you guys the voltage in and out. It's going to allow you to do the multiple charging while you're running and everything with this. Now, your charge rate is going to be about 2 hours on a wall plug, so that's actually quite fast for a battery this size or a power station this size. With that, though, you are going to be able to, of course, with the 1500 Pro, charge it on a cigarette lighter. Of course, that's 16 and a half hours. That's going to be like, let's say you're going on a trip from, what type of trip could we go from? California, maybe to California to Texas? I don't know how long that goes, or farther away. Maybe you guys need to go to Mount Rushmore. Put it in, plug it up, you're good to go. Now, the cool part about this one, and this is what I'm going to say this is more geared towards. This is geared towards the longer emergencies. Maybe you need lights to run a little longer. Maybe you need to connect up a window AC. Yes, you could run a window AC off of this, most definitely. You can run your kitchen fridge off of this. Most of those kitchen fridges are about 500 to 520, 100 or 520 watts of power. So you could definitely do that with this. Now, if you guys have toy haulers, you guys go to the racetracks, have RVs and just want to have that backup battery power, this would be a great option for that because it is still nice sized, but it's also still carryable, but also has a quick charge rate, but still has a good amount of power. Now, running devices, yes, we can run a bunch of stuff, even that big 65-inch TV back there. That 65-inch TV is going to be about 16 to 17 hours of runtime with that if you wanted. Now, if you really just needed to charge your iPhone, that's right, your iPhone off of the 15, you're going to be able to charge this about 65 times. That's a crazy amount of phone charges. That means if you were without power and you like to scroll TikTok, Instagram, or Amazon, you'll be able to do that for unlimited amount of time. Right? We're just going there. That little light bulb on the side, you'll be able to run that for about 115 hours. That's right, 115 hours of runtime. If you wanted to run, let's say, of course, your window AC, most of those are going to range from about 1100 watts. So you'll be able to get about an hour or so of runtime off of that with this. And since it does have the 3 AC outlets at 1800 watts of pure sine wave power, you can connect that up, no problem, and do that. You can definitely even connect up your microwave and run that off of this. Now, if you really wanted to, you can take it out to the garage. The garage should be able to allow you to run, like, let's say, your hand grills, angle grinders, weed whackers, leaf blowers, even your table saws, depending on the size of that table saw. Some of them get pretty big, so you have to do the math with the wattage, but you got that. How you doing, Chucky? What's up, buddy? Chucky's in the house. And now, like I said, guys, the 1500 Pro does come with a great price and coupon. So that applicable coupon is going to give you about $700 off. That brings that down to about $999 for this power station. So that's a good deal, an amazing product, worth definitely checking out. Compare that up with, of course, a whole bunch of solar panels, and you're good to go, and you don't have to worry about that. You don't even have to pay to plug it in and charge it. Ideal. Yeah, definitely ideal. I really do believe these are very ideal for a lot of different things. Now, we're going to be moving over, of course, to the 2000 Pro, which is actually on the opposite side of the table, and it's right down there, and of course, it's being blocked by another power station. I will move that over. Now, with this one, though, guys, this is going to come with a solar panel, so this is actually a kit. This is the 2000 Pro kit. Now, the 2000 Pro kit is going to come with 2 Solar Saga 200-watt solar panels and the power station. Now, this power station packs 2,160 watt-hours of power. That's a large amount of power in a nice little package. Now, with this, though, we're going to talk about a few things, of course, first and foremost. You have that AC outlet, guys. That's going to give you guys 2,200 watts of pure sine wave power with that. And that's actually very, very good with that. So you have that accessible with it. Now, charge time on this, though, is still 2 hours wall plug, fully charged. No worries. You're good to go. 24 hours on a car outlet. That's going to be like, a full day trip. Like, you're in the car for a full day driving. It's going to take that long to charge it on a cigarette lighter. If you have 6 of the solar panels, about 2.5 hours, it comes with 2 of those panels. So do the math. It's going to, be a little bit longer, but you have the panels and you can charge that. The runtime, though, with this, since you have that 2,200 watts of pure sine wave power and the 2,160 watt hours of power, you're going to be able to run more stuff with this without an issue. Let's say your 1,100 watt window AC. That's going to be like a 10,000 BTU window AC. 2 hours of runtime. That means you guys can get that chill in the house while the power's out, and you're good to go. Or maybe you live off the grid and you just want to plug it in and have a little cooling down. You can do that. Your refrigerator. That's right. Your house refrigerator, your double door standard refrigerators. About 3 to 3.25 hours of runtime with that. So you have a good amount of time that can do it. Even hot plates, electric griddles, popcorn makers, guys, movies. You guys can plug in a projector in this. Do a movie night out back during the summer. Have fun with it. You can even plug in the inflatable movie screen into this or just whatever you want and good to go. You can even plug in a blender for those cocktail drinks while you're having that movie night. You can do it all off of that with no problem. You do have the 3 plugs, plus you have the USB-A's and the USB-C's. So you still have the 2 18-watt ports to plug in with the USB-A port devices and 2 USB-C plugs, 100 watts. Now this one is a little bit louder because it's got fans built in. It's about 53 decibels, but still accessible. You can't really hear it. And like I say, guys, with this, of course, that display is very high contrast with this. And of course, most of your noise is going to be from flipping that switch with that. Now you still have, of course, the cigarette lighter plug, 12 volt, 10 amps. And it has, of course, that flashlight on the side. So you still get that flashlight with the 3 modes, low beam, high beam, and of course SOS pattern. So you're good to go with that. This kit, though, is approximately 78 pounds. So do know that the solar panels do weigh quite a bit. And of course the station weighs a good amount too. So you do have a very good amount of weight with this. Still has the LiFePO 4 cells. Still has that Class 9 drop protection, the intelligent BMSs, the temperature sensors, and the voltage monitoring system. So you're good with that. Any questions about that piece, please definitely ask. With that one, guys, that's just a great little power station kit. Normally, it's like $3,600. I think it's $2,999 tonight. So that is a good deal for that kit. Now, we're going to be moving over to their largest standalone system. And I say that very, very reluctantly. And that's because it is their largest standalone system. We'll get into why it's a standalone system and their largest. Now, with that, of course, if I move over, you guys will see it right back there. It does have some LED lighting plugged in, and if I zoom in a little more, you get a better look at that. Now, with this one, though, it is a full kit, of course, just like the last one. It's going to come with the power station and 2 solar panels. This is normally like a $4,000 kit. The 3000 Pro does have $1,100 clippable coupon on this kit. So you're going to save a good amount of money with this. Now, this has a lot of power, so you're going to have a lot of power packed into this on hand. Now, of course, with that, we can talk about that and everything else with it. 3,024 watt hours of power with this. Now, with this one, though, you get 5 AC outlets right here. So you get 4 standard AC outlets, and then you get that 5th one up here that's going to allow you to plug in like your EV chargers, your TIG or MIG welders, or other devices like your old school washers and dryers and stoves into this. Now, individually switched, of course, it has this display, high contrast. It's about 19% battery left. So I've actually used this quite a bit over on my streams over the last month, and I have not charged it. So that is what we've been using. It has the DC cigarette lighter plug and still has the USB-A ports and USB-C ports. Now, with this one, though, you may see the little orange level over here, and that's actually a handle to lift this up. I don't recommend carrying this around and lifting it up too much, guys. It does weigh, of course, 63.5 pounds, so it does weigh quite a bit. It also has some large 3-inch wheels for the device. Now, we're going to get into this because that's where it's at. It's a standalone system, but I'm going to move over, of course, to the camera to talk about what this system can actually do. Because this is the 3000 Pro, it actually works with their Jackery app, and that's right, the app. Now, the app is actually quite accessible. It works with the 3000 Pro and the Plus systems. Now, with this, if you just click on that, you're going to see the charge rate left. You're going to see, of course, the temperature that it's running at. It's about 26 Celsius. And you're going to see, of course, the switches and, of course, the input voltages and output voltages with that. Showing you guys about 23 watts of usability through those LEDs. Now, if I hit that AC plug, I can actually shut it off, and it'll shut the light off behind us. Usually, with that, it takes a second right there, just shut off, just like that by a switch. So you can turn your devices off if you forget to. That's actually kind of cool. Now, inside this, of course, you guys can run standby times. You can do battery management. You guys can set up run times and everything in between with that. PC Phil, what's up, buddy? And thank you, man. Now, with the, of course, app, easy, accessible, very simple to use. And that's kind of cool with this. Now, we're going to move over, of course, to some images I do have. And I do have some images right here because it does have large 3-inch wheels. Those are a nice, large, and solid polyurethane wheel that will allow you to roll around on most surfaces without a problem. Now, with it, of course, you guys got that telescopic aluminum handle that does pull out and will allow you to roll it around like a suitcase. I did need a sip of water. Now, with it, of course, like I said, guys, you can use it to have the app. And the app is accessible with iOS or Android, so you guys are good there. It has both services. You don't have to worry. Now, cool thing about the app, you can actually run that app on your tablets and everything with that because those apps are accessible for your tablets. Now, with it, of course, the charge time is about 2.5 hours with that to charge on a wall plug. About 34 hours on a cigarette car lighter. And if you have, of course, 6 of the Solar Saga 200 panels, now remember this kit comes with 2 of them. You get 4 more, about 3.5 hours, and you're up and running. Now, the cool part about that is that means you guys can be living off of the grid with 6 of those panels while charging this and still using the power at the same time. Or let it charge throughout the day and only use it at night. That's up to you. Now, you do have multiple things that you could definitely run off of this. Let's say that light bulb on the side, 220 hours. That 1150 watt window AC, that 10,000 BTU. 3 hours of runtime. Now, you definitely could run other things like your fridges and other pieces, of course, with it. Right here, guys, you'll see it has 12 forms of protection, 9 temperature sensors, of course, built in. Now, that's actually kind of cool. Now, we can run even more stuff than that, guys. You guys can do, let's say, a 100-watt movie projector. The 100-watt movie projector is going to be about 21 hours of runtime. So you can do that. If you guys want to run a space heater, those are usually about 350 watts. You'll be able to run about 6 hours of runtime with that. Or even your 800-watt kitchen stove. You'll be able to get 3 hours of runtime. Maybe you guys need to finish that turkey off, and you'll be able to do that. Or just smoke a ham in the oven if you're cooking a ham or whatever you need. Camping, of course, guys, you can definitely charge your phones, your PCs, your camera gear, ice machines, and everything in between. Now, what I'm going to tell you, though, is you could use this in your garage. And I'm not talking about small power tools. I'm talking about, like, let's say, your Tigger MIG welders. So you can definitely run that with this big station. So you can run those with that. Now, again, $1,100 clippable coupon on this kit for the 3000 Pro. Now, we're going to be moving over, of course, to the little 300. Now, this, of course, is the 300 Plus. We're going to talk about this. The 300 Plus is a cool station. We're going to get into the 300 Plus with this one. Grab it. It's a nice, cool little piece. This little piece is 288 watt-hours of power, LiFePO 4 cells. Now, with this one, though, they changed the way you use the plug. It's the bigger orange plug to charge it on a wall plug. It's going to fully charge on a wall plug in under an hour and a half. That's a quick charge time with this. If you're using, let's say, a USB-C plug to charge it, about 3 hours of charge time. 4.25 hours in a cigarette lighter, or, of course, a solar panel. Now, with this one, you have that one AC outlet right there, 300 watts of pure sine wave power. You have 2 USB-C ports. Those are 100 watts. One of those is an in and out port. You have one USB-A port. That's a 15-watt plug, and, of course, that cigarette lighter plug. On the other side, you have, of course, that light. That light does low, high, and, of course, SOS with this. Now, they added, of course, that handle that folds up with this. That is cool to their newer stuff. Still has silicone pads that you expect to help with non-marring your stuff. Now, with that, of course, I'm going to tell you guys, this is going to be able to run a bunch of cool stuff from, let's say, charging your iPhone 13 times, running your house fan 4.5 hours, or even your Nintendo Switches. You have all the accessibility with this, and, of course, at a great price. Normally, $300 price tag. This is like $239. It's a great deal. Now, we also have the 300 Plus kit, and that's what's going to get kind of cool. So you have this 300 Plus, but there's also a solar panel option that comes with it, and that is a 40-watt solar panel. This 40-watt solar panel is, of course, a notebook sized. You could literally put this in your backpack. That's amazing. This kit is like $299 with this. Now, it's got a magnetic flap that does pop open. Of course, has these eye ringlets. I do recommend always tying your solar panels down in case the wind picks up. Now, it is a trifold design, so it does pop out 3 times, but it's got 4 panels. That's right. It's a nice large panel. So you do have, of course, a nice large size panel that's going to grab a good amount of light to get you that charge as you need it. Now, with it, of course, monocrystalline solar cell style. And of course, it does have their logo right up there with the little magnetic locks. So those magnets, of course, do lock into place for you, and that's where that's going to lock with that. And it's got the little clasp back here. This is a cool piece. I love this piece. To have a solar panel that can fit in your backpack and take it with you, that's a great idea. That's an amazing idea. So if you guys just want to do a quick back camping trip in the backwoods, or you guys want to do a photo shoot and you want to have charging or even drones. Maybe you guys like to race drones and you guys need to charge those batteries. Take this one, use it to charge the batteries, and have that solar panel charging the power station. It'll all fit in your gear holder. So that's a cool piece. Any questions about that? Please definitely ask about that one. Hey, thanks, Phil. I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. For all of those that are watching on the other channels, I'm going to post something right now for you guys. If you want to see what the carousel looks like, just follow that link. And definitely give that follow button a smash. Now, we're going to move over, of course, to their modular systems. Now, we're going to talk about the 1000 Plus. And since it's the Plus series, it does work, of course, with the app. And you can actually run this off of the app. Now, the 1000 Plus, if I bounce over here, you guys are going to be like, I can't see it. Well, you're right. You can't. But that's because I'm messing with the wrong thing. You should be able to see it right now, right? The 1000 Plus is right there in the middle. Right there on the bottom in the middle. That's a cool piece. This is actually a really amazing product. Now, with this, the 1000 Plus is like $11.99 for this power station. Now, we're going to get into this because it's a 1264 watt hour of power. 1264 watt hours of power, but you would think since it's a 1000 that it would only do 1000 watts of pure sine wave power, and you would definitely be wrong. These three AC plugs can actually do 2,000 watts of pure sine wave power out of them. You hit that switch, turn it on, you're good to go. You do have, of course, to turn the power button to do that. Now, with that, you do have the flashlight that does multi-mode, and of course, SOS pattern with that. It is Bluetooth Wi-Fi connectability for the app, of course, as well. It has the two USB-A ports at 18 watts max and two USB-C ports at 100 watts max. Of course, individually switched with that. It has that handle. It has, of course, that nice high contrast screen. This will do good for plugging in pretty much anything that you want, including window ACs, your fridges, and other devices with this. Now, your charge time on this, of course, is going to range from a few different things, right? Under 2 hours fully charged on the wall plug. That's right, under 2 hours. Your car charger, about 7 hours with that cigarette lighter. If you have solar panels, about 4 of those solar panels, about 4.5 hours with that. Now, you'll be able to run a lot of stuff with this, and that's kind of cool. Cybass, what's up, buddy? You can run your window AC. You can run, of course, your coffee makers, your electric griddles, your weed whackers, and, of course, your fridges. Now, that's going to be like a 15-watt mini fridge, about 44 hours of runtime. Now, we can go into, of course, the more power, more sustainability with this. You guys can run a bunch of stuff. It is over 1264 watt hours of power, so you could run that 1150 watt window AC for about an hour or so. You'll be able to run your flat screen TVs or other devices without an issue. Just get there and have fun with it. Now, the 1000 Plus, of course, does come in an option of the power station and, of course, solar panels. Now, the option of the power station and solar panels is normally about $1,700, but there is, of course, a $200 clippable coupon that's going to save you a few bucks. Now, that means you get this power station and, of course, 2 of the Solar Saga 100 panels. Now, those panels are, of course, fully water resistant and waterproof. You can use them outside and not have a problem. That means you're going to have that power station and a solar panel. You're going to be able to charge and use that power without a problem. Now, of course, we have the full kit, and we're going to get into that full kit. Now, that's where I want to start talking about the full kit, because we have the kit. Now, we're going to start this off with, of course, the power station and the battery. Now, you probably are saying, well, where's the battery? Battery's on the opposite side of that power station up top. That means you're going to double your battery time. That means you're going to have 2,528 watt hours of power. That means you're going to double your runtime and everything else. Now, what I will tell you, though, is since you have that battery and the power station, it's going to take a little bit longer to run, right? It's going to take longer to charge. That's just the way it is. Now, the battery is, of course, still portable and accessible for you, and you can take it around and carry it. It does have a handle. So the battery does have a handle. It flips out for you just like that. It has, of course, a display button right here and a display that shows you the charge. On the back, it's got a DC expansion port with that. And to use that DC expansion port, you're going to literally use this large orange cable. This cable is going to link those systems together, and it's going to allow for that power to transfer from the power station, from the battery to the power station without a problem. And that's kind of cool to be able to do that. Now, with that, you run, of course, your window AC a lot longer. You'll be able to run everything else a lot longer as well. You're just going to double everything with your runtime. And that's where it's modular. And the cool part is you can actually add up to 3 batteries. So you're going to go from the over 2 kilowatts of hour to 5 kilowatts of hour power with, of course, the 3 batteries. So you have the power station of 3 batteries, 5 kilowatts of hour. That should be able to run your household for a good amount of time. That means you're going to be able to run stuff that you probably didn't realize you could run with this. And again, guys, it's like $2,000 for this kit with the battery. Now, we also have the 1,000 plus full kit. Now, the 1,000 plus full kit is going to be the battery, the station, and 2 solar panels. So the 1,000 plus kit, battery, station, 2 solar panels, that means you're going to get 2 Solar Saga 100 panels, the battery, and everything to run this. This is like $2,400, but there is a $300 clippable coupon. You get all of that beautiful runtime. They can run everything, including your gaming PC off of this. That's right. You can run your gaming PC off of this power station. Not a problem. I've done it. Not going to tell you that, though. Like mine, I have like over 1,200 watt power supply if you are fully using that power supply. Most of us don't use that full 1,200 watts. But if you are, you're only going to get a couple hours of runtime with that. So, great options. Modular. You guys have the expandability. Has the charge shield. It's going to last approximately over 10 years before you start seeing a slight degrade in the battery, but should last even longer than that. You should get over about 4,000 charge cycles or more. It's got, of course, 62 forms of protection, class 10 drop protection with this one. And that's kind of cool with this. So if you guys need that right there, the 1,000 plus kit is a beautiful, beautiful power station. And that's actually an amazing piece. So multi-port, multi-plug. And now we're going to move in, of course, to their largest modular system, and that's going to be the 2,000 plus system. Now, the 2,000 plus system, of course, is back down here next to the 3,000 Pro. It's actually the same housing as the 3,000 Pro. Now, with this one, it's normally like $2,200, but there's a $300 clippable coupon. Now, with this, it's 2,042 watt hours of power. It has 5 AC plugs. If I zoom in a little bit closer, you know what? Let's try and get you guys all the way in there. There you guys go. So right there, you have the 5 AC outlets. 4 of those, of course, are 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power, standard 3-prong American style. That 5th, of course, is that other American style plug, which means like your EV plugs, your Tager MIG welders, your old school washers and dryers and stuff with this. Now, 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 6,000 watts if you need to. With this course, the charge rate is where it's going to change for you. It's going to be about 2 hours on a wall plug to fully charge this, 24 to 25 hours on a cigarette lighter. Or if you have solar panels, of course, 2 hours if you have 6 of those. Now, still 4,000 charge cycles with this, but has, of course, those large wheels that's going to allow you to roll it around. It's also going to have you have that telescopic handle on this 2,000 plus. Now, I can actually move back over to the live scene and kind of grab the pictures for those if you guys want to see those. Let's grab the 2,000 plus system. We can kind of show you guys the wheeling it around right there. Has nice wheels, does roll around, has nice large silicone pads as well, and that very cool suitcase design. Now with it, of course, 12 forms of protection, 9 temperature sensors built in, of course, with that as well. Still works with the app, so the app's kind of cool, so you can actually do the app, iOS or Android. Connect it up, turn the plugs on and off at your ease. Maybe you guys left the homestead and need to shut it off. maybe you rushed out the garage and you left maybe your drill or heater on. Turn that phone on and turn the switch off, and you're good to go. Now, with this, of course, you guys can run a window AC off of this, for a good amount of time. You have the accessibility with that, and of course, that's the wrong image right there. Let's back that up right here. So, not sure why that jumped images, but we can go back over here. But you do have, of course, all the accessibility and the runnability with that. Now, like I said, you can run large machinery off of this, of course, as ease. Now, we're going to do this. We're going to bounce back over, and we're going to move back over to this camera for you. More runtime off of this, since it is, of course, modular. There's $330 clippable coupon on this power station. The 2000 Plus does have a $2,200 price tag, but $300 off tonight for you. Now, with it, of course, you can run more things with that as you need. Let's say your CPAP machine. If you guys have to have an oxygen CPAP machine to sleep, maybe you guys have sleep apnea, 150 hours of runtime with that. If you have an old school 200 watt all-in-one desktop PC, 12 hours of runtime. That means you guys can do your multitasking, finish your work from work, or even your kids' homework. They'll have that 12 hours of runtime. Your 1150 watt window AC, about 2 hours of runtime with this. If you want to run your 520 watt refrigerator, about 3 hours. Now, of course, you guys can even use a hair dryer for about an hour, because hair dryers, well, let's be honest, most hair dryers are approximately 1500 watts of power. That's raw power from them things. Now, we're going to get into it, though, because most of you have an RV. Your RV air conditioners are about 1,000 watts. So you're going to get a longer runtime than your house ACs, which is kind of cool. With that, you guys, your camping fridge, your camping freezer, like your portable freezer, 60 watts of freezing capability, 26 hours of runtime. Professional tools, like your weed whackers, your leaf blowers, your Taker MIG welders. Your welding machine, unfortunately, on this one's only going to get about a half hour of usage time. For those of you living off the grid, maybe you guys have an inverter heater, about 19 hours of runtime. Maybe you guys have a sub pump with that. Of course, you guys are going to be able to rub the sub pump for about 20 hours on the sub pump. Of course, your phones, 60 times of charging with this. It's a great deal, great price point. But you can also do, of course, the 2000 Plus with the solar panels, and we actually have that in the carousel as well. This kit's like $3,300, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's a $735 clippable coupon for the 2000 Plus and the 2 Solar Saga 200 panels. And that's actually a cool piece. Now, the Solar Saga 200 panels, of course, are fully waterproof and water resistant, so you don't have to worry about that. You still get all of that beautiful runtime, but you get, of course, 2 of the solar panels that's going to allow you to charge it and use it at the same time. And that's amazing. Now, with it, of course, since it's the 2000 Plus and it's a modular system, we also have, of course, the kit here that has a battery. And that battery is sitting literally right above the power station in that screen back there for you. Now, with that, that means you double your battery time. You're going to go from the 2,000 watts to 4,085 watt hours of power. That means you're doubling your runtime. The station and the battery together is like $3,800, but there is an $855 clippable coupon for this kit. That's actually saving you guys quite a bit of money. Now, like I was telling you guys on the runtimes with this, though, that just doubles every bit of runtime that you had, of course, in accessibility with this. Now, of course, that means you can run your CPAP machine for 300 hours, that 200 watt desktop PC for about 24 hours, the 1150 watt window AC for about almost 4 hours, I think. With that, of course, your core sub pumps, those are like 60 watts, 40 hours of sub pump. That means you're going to have well water going. You don't have to worry about it. Now, of course, you could do your 2200 watt weed whacker or weed eaters for about 4.5 hours. Your welding machine is going to be about a little over an hour with that. So you have that accessibility. Now, the cool part is it is a full-on kit, and that kit can actually add 5 batteries. So you can actually add 5 of those batteries to give you 12 kilowatts of hour power. Now, if you really wanted to, though, you guys can get a second power station, link the two stations, and add 10 batteries. That's going to give you guys 24 kilowatts of hour power. That means you are fully up and off the grid living with this full system. And that's where it's really at. Now, again, guys, for the battery and the single power station, of course, and single battery, $3,799, but there is an $850 clippable coupon. Now, of course, we have one more with that power station, and that's going to be the power station, the battery, and, of course, 2 solar panels. This full kit is like a $5,000 package, but has $1,000 off. That means you get the battery, the station, and 2 of those very large solar panels. That's a smoking deal. That's a great deal. That is definitely good for outdoor, indoor, RV camping, home emergencies, or running your garage or shops. So you don't have to worry about it. They got you covered with the power stations with that. That's a great deal. Again, that full kit, the 4,000 kit, $1,000 off. You can't go wrong with that. Now we're going to move on into the solar panels, of course, with that. We're going to start with the Solar Saga 100 panel. Now, the Solar Saga 100 panel is actually right here with me, and I'm going to grab this. I'll grab the camera. This, of course, is the Solar Saga 100 panel. Now, this panel is going to work with, of course, the 240, the 300, the 300 plus, the 500, the 1000, the 1000 plus, and the 1500. Now, with this, of course, it has, of course, kickstands that's going to allow you to Velcro off and out. That means you're going to be able to set this up in, of course, under 30 seconds. Now, it's going to do, of course, 100 watts of power at 18 volts of charge rate. Now, it does have this ETFE laminated handle, and, of course, does have a magnetic closure, and you guys will see right about here that where it connects right in there. Now, with that, of course, the magnet is on the opposite side. When I open this, you're going to see the monocrystalline solar cell that's going to grab all of that light. And you guys can see it's reflecting my lighting gear that we're using tonight with this. That's a cool piece. Fully waterproof and water resistant in harsh and wet weather. Can even be used in, of course, high dust rate and dirt. You guys can wash off the hose if you really wanted to. Now, it does have, of course, 4 eye ringlets. Definitely use those for windier areas. Now, you have this nice zip-up pocket that does zip open. And inside the back of this pocket is going to be your cable. This cable is approximately 9.5 feet. It does have, of course, an adapter, just depending on which power station you have. Now, one second, everybody. I do apologize, and hopefully I muted that. Now, with this, of course, guys, you have a USB-C port and a USB-A port on this orange plug inside, and that means you can charge your phone, your MacBook, and other devices right off the solar panel without having the power station. And that is a cool piece of technology. So the Solar Saga 100 panel is a very, very amazing piece of technology. So if you need a solar panel like that, definitely check out the 100. Now, for the last product of the night, that's going to be the Solar Saga 200 panel. Now, the Solar Saga 200 panel does have a $140 clippable coupon, and if we pop over here and close that, we have an actual video of it in action. Now, this is what's called a trifold design, but it's a quad panel. It has 3 legs to set up. It has this very cool case that unzips and has a clip. Inside that case, there's actually a pocket that actually has the cabling for it. It's a 9.5-foot cable. Now, with this power station, it's going to work on the 1000 Pro, the 1500 Pro, the 2000 Pro, the 2000 Plus, and the 3000 Pro power systems. Now, with this, fully monocrystalline solar cells. It's going to grab about 24.3% efficiency in lower light settings for you with this. Should be able to connect up in approximately 30 seconds or so with that. The cabling does come with a 90-degree angle or, of course, a straight end with that for you. Now, with it fully water resistant and waterproof, you don't have to worry about it. The one thing I will tell you, definitely get the extension cable, the Jackery DC extension cable, to give it an extra 16 feet of connectability. That way you can get the power station out and under the open air. That means you can put the power station, of course, under an awning in a shed or something and still have it plugged in. Now, right there, you guys will see me plugging it into, of course, the 3000 Pro system right there. And that's a good system to be plugged into. You're going to notice that in the lighting I have, of course, there's a tall building still there, even though it looks very, very bright. There's a building blocking this sunlight direct. It's going to show you guys about 150 watts of charging power right there, or a little bit more with that. And that's kind of cool. So it does show you guys the wattage that those solar panels are using. If you have the plugs, that you guys can definitely plug in 6 of these panels to the system, of course. That means you can actually, charge it in like 2.5 hours or less or so with that. That's a good way to do it. Beautiful little solar panel, awesome price. Normally $700, $150 or $140 clippable coupon. It's a great deal right there. Amazing piece. I really love that solar panel. So if you guys are looking for a power station that's going to save you time, save you money, or even help you out in times of need, Jackery's definitely got you covered, guys, with all of those beautiful power stations and solar panels. Any questions, guys, before we call it a stream? Anything at all? Anything you guys need me to circle back on? I don't see anything. So with that, guys, I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight on the stream. I will tell you, we're going to be back tomorrow night. Definitely come back for tomorrow's night show. You guys are not going to want to miss that. We have a few extra little special things for tomorrow night's show. A few extra products as well that we're going to be showing you guys. So with that, guys, I want to thank you. I want to hope you guys all had a great St. Patrick's Day, and we'll see you guys on the next show. Later, everybody. Have a good night.